All right, guys, we're gonna go over a quick video with Sig, which is a human aggressive Belgian Malinois, and we're gonna talk about how to greet people and how to have control of your dog when greeting people or when people are greeting you. Okay. All right. So once we're greeting someone, we want to have Sig beside us. We don't want to have him in front of us. Okay. We want to have the person that we're gonna greet to our opposite sides. We want to be between Sig and the person we're greeting. Okay. This is extremely important. If Sig is in the front of me, then he can lunge out and bite them. We want to have Sig with us. If we have to reset, we do. Okay. We want to make sure that our dog is on the complete control when we have them in our possession. Okay, if you pay attention how far distance I am between Sig and the individual. Sig is not gonna bite me, he's gonna bite the individual that's in front of me. So letting Sig lead into the front is gonna cause major problems. That is gonna be your first step. Having the person on your opposite side and having Sig on the opposite side when you're greeting the individual. Okay, I'm not gonna put a muzzle on Sig. I'm not gonna put a prong on him. I'm not gonna do anything that's gonna encourage him to become more aggressive. All right, if you see how I let Sig to the front, which most people do, if he gets that far out, he's gonna bite the individual in front of me before I even have the time to react. Okay, number two, if you have a dog that's already bit a couple people, you don't want to put too much faith in your skills that they're not going to do it again. Okay, you want to have the dog under control regardless of the situation, not thinking your voice is going to get it done. I tighten up on the leash. I brought Sig, and now walking past individuals. Sig didn't even look at them. Okay, we want to keep Sig focused on what's going on around us and keep him focused on us, not just the individual. Okay, so we're gonna bring Sig over again, and we're gonna walk past the individual. I tighten up on that leash, and Sig is spinning around. All right, and he spun to my left side, which was a bad juju. You don't want that to happen. All right, so here we go. We are walking past individuals, we are greeting people, and we're practicing the scenario with Sig. Sig has only met Jeff once, and it was for a brief second. So this is a new experience for Sig to meet Jeff on a regular basis during this training session. So this is new to Sig. Jeff is new to Sig. Okay. Now we're going to discuss meeting someone coming onto my property. This is important. If we just allow Sig to run amok on the property before the individual gets on the property, we're gonna have a problem. He's already gonna activate himself before the person even gets onto the property. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my obedience. I'm gonna put Sig in a down state. As the person walks onto the property, I acknowledge that I am between Sig and the individual, right? If Sig wanted to greet them, he can't because I tighten up on the leash and Sig is behind me. He's not in front of me. So he knows that I am running this situation. He is not running the situation. And I'm going to keep him in his obedience commands. Then I'm going to take Sig over to the individual on my terms. Sig is not going to react because I'm going to tell the individual to not pay him any mind, do not try to pet him, and do not care anything about what's going on. If I do this properly, I can actually give the leash to the person that's standing there. So again, when you're dealing with a reactive dog, the greeting of the situation is going to dictate the outcome. All right, so now we're going to talk about dogs, people coming inside of your home and how to deal with that. Everybody has their method. Everybody does things differently, which is fine. I own a lot of personal protection dogs. So this is my method. This is what I do. And this is what's worked for me. My dogs have never bit anybody. I'm always between the individual and my dog. I never let my dog be between me and them. That is a setup for a bad situation. Okay. I want my dog to know I have the lead. So I'm going to put Sig in a down state as I go and greet the person at the door. Once I greet the person at the door, I'm going to allow them to come all the way in the house, keeping Sig in an obedient stance. This is important, right? So you want to get that in check before you actually open the door. Practice makes perfect. You want to do this even if you do it with your spouse or a child in the house. Have them ring the doorbell. Practice this before you actually get into doing it, okay? So again, we're going to have Jeff come and ring the doorbell, knock on the door. I'm inside. I'm doing my thing with Sig. I'm getting him prepped for the company, which is extremely important. Then I'm going to let Jeff into the household. You see, I didn't open it all the way. I opened it halfway. Sig is already down in state. And then I'm going to let Jeff sit there, right? And you say, oh, wagging tail, he's so happy. Don't be confused. Sometimes wagging tails can mean bad things. So I'm going to go up, let Sig see Jeff while Jeff is sitting down in not a non-threatening manner. And once Sig doesn't care anymore, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring Sig back to a place. I'm not going to let him sit there and guard Jeff. I'm going to bring him back, and I'm going to put him in an obedient stance. I'm going to put him in a down stay again, right? This is important. Your dog needs to be following these commands. If you can't control your dog from biting and from jumping and lunging, they're going to bite. So you want to make sure you have full control of your dog at all times. So this is how we do when we're greeting someone with a reactive dog. We want them to understand that we're in control of the situation and they are not. So at this point in time, we're going to work on that again. And as you see, Sig walks over to the door. So now we're going to work on it again. There's going to be a doorbell that's going to ring. I'm going to get up and go answer the door. But before I answer the door, I'm going to deal with my dog first, right? He got up, he wanted to go, and he wanted to protect the door, which is important to recognize, all right? Look at his position. He is ready for whatever's about to come through the front door. So I'm going to bring him back. Again, I'm going to put him in a down state, right? He's understanding that he has to obey these commands. Before I answer the door, I'm not going to just yell and scream at him and throw him in a crate and make him become reactive. I'm going to let him know you can be out, but you just can't react. All right. If I don't feel that the situation is my way, I'm going to reset and do it again. I'm going to keep correcting him until I feel like I'm ready to go. Then I'm going to answer the door. I answered it halfway. Then I let him in, and I immediately took a look at Sig to let him know that, hey, I got this. Right. I put Sig back down in a down state, and now Jeff is sitting there in a non-threatening posture because he's sitting down. Then I'm going to sit there and I'm going to have Sig with me before I interact with Jeff, right? I'm going to tell Jeff to ignore Sig. It's not important. Don't worry about it. Then I'm going to take Sig over the Jeff. Sig is going to ignore Jeff because Jeff is ignoring him. Once Sig feels like he's not a threat, then he'll interact with them, right? This is the best option. Do not have people smell your company's hand or your company sticking their hand out or trying to give them treats. You're going to get them bit, right? You need to have full control over your dog at all times during the scenario. Always be between your dog and the person. Your dog is not going to bite you. They're going to bite the individual in front of you. So if you have your dog leading you, then this is where the bad things are going to happen, okay? Again, we're going to put Sig. This is the other option. You could put Sig on a placemat or a bed and have him there while you're entertaining your guests, right? This is why knowing a place is important. Why your dog needs to know their place is important. If they don't have a place and they don't know their place, they're going to be all over yourself, all over the place, out of control, right? So now we're going to bring Sig back over. We're going to put him back on the place, and we're going to put him in a downstay while Jeff comes inside. Because I wanted Jeff to walk in because I was expecting Jeff's company, and Sig was already out of the crate. So we're going to have Jeff walk on in the house, and we were simulating that a friend came over and I told them to come inside. Okay, Jeff is about to walk in, position himself inside the house. Sig knows his place, and this place is that placemat. All right, so if your dog doesn't know this, you're going to have big troubles in the future.